everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Double Dog, and I'm back with another video. This one is a informative video to let you know about some interesting news involving the new Arcade 1-Up plug-and-play systems. What's that?
Hey,
What?
Hey, no.
Well, you've never heard of them?
Who ain't no play?
Well, I'll tell you about them. Basically, we all know that I have quite a bit of the Arcade 1-Up machines that I've received over the time or two from Arcade 1-Up, and they're neat. But Arcade 1-Up is really diving deep into making different items that they could sell along with these 4-foot tall arcade replicas. They're working on pinball machines. Like the only thing is they're not real pinball; they're like a virtual pinball. So it's like a pinball machine, but it's like a screen with virtual pinball. I'm not a fan of that. I like the tactile feeling of a real pinball. But they also have their little smaller model arcade cabinets you can buy for like $100 or $200. They have games on them. And they also have the tabletops like you've seen that we've showed in my previous videos. But the newest thing is their plug and play games that they're coming out with. That's right. Arcade 1-Up is jumping on the plug-and-play bandwagon. They had showed these back in, I think it was CES, not that long ago, and they had several different ones. And as you see the different pictures, they're basically like your standard issue controller that looks similar. At least the early versions looked very similar to Sega Genesis controllers. And it came with like a little wireless dongle that you would plug, like a USB drive or something. That you'd plug into your TV and you could play the games on it, and each one had like several games on it. You had your DuckTale ones, your Mickey Mouse one, your Mega Man one, and stuff like that. Well, fortunately, they have upgraded these since that previous time with some new information, and they've changed it to where now they look a little bit different. Now they come with this box that has two little USB charging plug-ins in the front, and from the back of the box it plugs into your TV set. And the controller they've changed and made it much larger now. It's still got the 6 buttons and it looks more like a boomerang, and it takes batteries in the back to power it. But you can also have it like plugged in. I think at least the original one had it where it was like a rechargeable or controller, or I think it was just like you could hook a USB plug into it to actually keep it charged and play. I guess having it wired would help with latency issues. I'm not sure on that. But they've upgraded them since this time, and now the new ones that they have out, well, they're not out yet, are going to be slightly different. Like, a good example is the Mega Man one now contains a lot more Mega Man games. Originally it only had like 6 games, and now it's got more games to it. Originally they had a Mickey Mouse one and a DuckTales one. Well, now they compiled it together as the Disney one, to where it's got DuckTales, it's got Mickey Mouse, it's got Chip and Dale's Rescue Rangers, it's got Gargoyles, it's got Lilo and Stitch, it's got Lion King 1.5 on it. And these are basically your old school console games that are being run in emulation on a little plug-and-play system. The only difference is these are made from Arcade 1-Up, and they're friggin' adorable. I want to get the DuckTales one myself, and since they've upgraded them now to where you just plug it straight to your TV and you have the box, the other thing that you'll notice if you look really in the fine print is there's an SD card slot on these boxes. And apparently you can add more games to these plug-and-play systems. I don't know what the internal memory is on the box that you get with this, but apparently with the SD card you can go to like a website. I don't know if it's going to be a Arcade 1-Up special website you go to pay extra for these games to download, or if you can just get your own downloaded games on an SD card and plug it in here and upload them and play them. Nonetheless, it actually has the ability for you to play more games than what comes in the package, which I think is great.
Hey,
and what?
What's the price?
Oh, you want to know the price?
Oh, yeah, what's the price?
Okay, I'll tell them the price. The price of this, I'm going to tell everyone right now, it's going to be... And you're like, well, Nate, that's really kind of high considering you're only getting like maybe 6 or so games with each one. But the main ability with this is the fact that since it comes with that SD card slot, you can upload more games to it. And honestly, the emulation that they're running on these is fairly decent. It's pretty darn good. It's the same as having like the classic systems if it ran on Genesis or Super Nintendo. But the thing is that micro card, SD card slot makes it to where you can put so many more games in these things. That's quite impressive. Like I said, I don't know what the internal memory is or what this thing can handle, but you figure if you have it on an SD card, you can have thousands of games on an SD card, just plug it in there, boom, ultimate plug and play. And that's pretty cool. Now, the only thing is like I'd always talked about why Arcade 1-Up, and people are like, well, why don't you just get a Raspberry Pi or something? And the main draw with the Arcade 1-Up 4-foot arcade cabinets is the fact that it's got, well, for the most part, because they've been off on some of them, like the Frogger cabinet and some other ones, the artwork is mostly close or almost identical to the arcades. And some of them have been changed due to copyright litigation. But for the most part, you're playing the arcade ROM programs of the original arcade games. And that's the main draw with the Arcade 1-Up cabinets. Now, I cannot see the point to buying one of these little plug-and-plays, though. I like Arcade 1-Up. I really do. And I'm interested to see how the pinball machine plays, if you know what I mean, if I ever get one of them. But honestly, I don't see the appeal of these plug-and-play ones when you can honestly just go and get a Raspberry Pi that does the same thing with more games on it. I do like the fact of the stylized controllers you get. I like the fact that they have it with the box where you can upgrade it with more stuff. You add more games to it. That's a neat addition. It really is. But for $60, honestly, I mean, I'll have to wait and see what the final version is on these guys to see exactly how good they are on the terms of the emulation and if there's any latency with the controllers when you're playing the game and stuff like that. You see the little artwork on the bottom of the controller. I wonder how quick that'll rub off. If it's anything like the other Arcade 1-Up cabinet art, you better be careful. That'll rub off by looking at it. But in the end, I'm looking forward to getting and trying these plug-and-play systems when they're released. There currently isn't a actual release date for them, and in fact, they haven't said that the price point is $60. So I'm just kind of letting you know about that one there. You know, not trying to one-up anybody. Get it? Arcade one-up anybody. Each one has been upgraded with an SD card slot in the box there where you can add more games to it in the future. And they did redesign the controllers, and I think it takes like 2 AA batteries to power the controllers now, along with the little plug that you can actually plug to keep it charged. I don't know if it uses rechargeable batteries or not, so you know that's something I have to look into in the future. And I do like the fact that they combined a lot of the games together. Like you have a bunch of different Mega Mans on one, you have a bunch of the Disney games on another, you got a bunch of the Pac-Man games, like you got Pac-Man, Galaga, Dig Dug, and all these other ones just on the Pac-Man one. In the end, in this day and age with so many plug-and-play systems, you got to do something to really stand out and be unique in the pack of everybody else, the plug and plays. And honestly, I can't really say from my personal feelings that I think Arcade 1-Up is really going to hit these ones out of the park. I don't think that this is the right niche for them. The pinball machines I'm curious about, because that's the thing, they kind of have more of a physical presence when you're building like the Arcade 1-Up cabinets and the Arcade 1-Up pinball machines. But as for plug and plays, those are a dime of a dozen that you can get just about anywhere. And unless you bring in some really good emulation, some really good quality builds to it, and some uniqueness to actually make you stand out of the pack against all the others, I don't really see these things really being that good. But we won't know until I get to try them out. So just remember that and stay tuned in the future for one of those videos where I actually test these bad boys out and see if they're any good or not, and I'll let you know if they are or not. Yeah, believe me, I will be painfully blunt. But in the end, this was Nate, aka Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. Leave in the comments below if you've heard of these Arcade 1-Up plug-and-play systems. What do you think about them? Do you think they're going to flop? Do you think they're going to be a big seller? Make sure to hit the bell icon to stay updated whenever I release any new videos. Subscribe to my channel. It always helps. Leave your comments. I love answering your comments. And remember, I always end my videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember, people, The devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.